it has a lot of good strengths, and they have Ursa, who will scale very well. By the way, I was watching Kara play his Ursa yesterday in a pub, so he was practicing this beforehand as well. Very popular hero right now, but he won that game. He owned it, so let's see if it will be the same here in this pro game.
Translating over here to an official tournament match, that's something to be said about that. But no, yeah, I'm glad bringing that up as far as Eternity goes. Again, a bit of pressure here playing with the stand-in, but at the same time, they do have a draft that, dare I say, is fairly easier to play, right? It just kind of makes sense on their objective. They have their obvious cores. They have their team fight potential. The game should be a little bit easier to perform, and especially when you're playing with players that maybe not used to playing with all the time, that's ideally more of the solid strategy to go for.
Yeah, you want to keep it simple then, and that's exactly what they have. The Mars initiating, Silencer there either to combo with the Arena or to counter initiate, and ultimately they're playing perhaps a little bit slower tower tempo. Bottom though, both teams eyeing up the rune, but I think it's going to be Felt who are going to get that one. Top, Mars did a good job though, going in for this rune. Takes a bit of damage for it, but nothing too bad. He'll be able to regen quite nicely for the lane.
Yeah, we're going to see the 2 for 2 as far as the bounty runes is concerned, so even start to kick things off here. On the other side, that final pick, Tidehunter especially, wanted to focus on, again, not a hero we're seeing a whole lot right now in this Division 2 play, but it kind of just made sense here. I believe Sheepstick even mentioning there that in the Silencer matchup, you're going to get those Guardian Greaves. It also brings that presence of you're going up against a lineup that has a lot of good team fight initiation. Tidehunter is great at almost that counter idea or being able to go in first and just disrupt everything.
He is good at that. The Tide fits nicely in the fact that he's a frontliner that can pair up. You don't want to have Lesh run in completely alone in the fights later on. But overall, their style of play is more split pushy, right? You have Clock and Nature's Prophet, who both benefit from splitting the game as much as possible. Same for Hoodwink. We saw B-God on his Hoodwink and how much he can punish heroes who split. So I think their game plan overall, while they do have a Tide, is probably not to really 5-man force it. This is more to have a reaction for when Eternity want to force the 5-man.
Fair enough. Yeah, Hoodwink is really, growing on me personally as a spectator too. And it felt like for a little bit of time there, maybe it was overpicked. He's really trying to force it in, but you're right. Specifically with B-God playing it recently, it was like, okay, so this is the potential of this hero, really, what we can see out of it. So we'll see what Shu is able to do on Hoodwink. Early on is going with plenty of harassment in the laning phase.
Yeah, this is what Hoodwink is known for, but at the same time, laning against that Silencer, not the easiest matchup with the Curse and Hood having a pretty low HP pool. It's not that simple for him. However, they do have Tidehunter in lane as well, and once he gets points in Kraken Shell, he'll be pretty happy.
Going in right there. Again, not necessarily going for a kill, but really trying to body out Ursa, using that Anchor Smash as well as that Gush being level 2. On the Tidehunter, our other lanes, though, including that mid lane mashup, Leshrac, versus the Ember Spirit. And right now it's Ember 8 and 2, Leshrac 8 and 3, so it is a very even back and forth.
It's fairly even. Leshrac is getting ahead a little bit. You always gotta keep in mind, the amount of remaining creep, so he gets those 2 extras, but both of them should be able to get bottle refills here. No supports rotating. Bottom lane, though, Shu may have gone a little bit too close to the Ursa.
Yeah, Curse is taking him down, and he's just out of range, but the auto attack just enough. From Silencer. Yeah, the range, that was pretty ridiculous. The vision gotten by Ursa, and Silencer's like, thank you very much.
That's really good for him, and he does get that +2 int, because on this lane, laning against a Silencer, or a Silencer against Tide, you do want the glaives, you don't go all in. We saw previous Silencer here in the DPC go for the 2-0-2 build, which I argue was the correct for that game, but you gotta be flexible. In this lane against the Tidehunter, much better to go for the Glaives of Wisdom, so you can actually do some reliable damage to the Tide, and not just have it be Anchor or Kraken shelled off. So already gets that +2 int as well from that kill. It's a minor thing, but it feels so good.
Yeah, and I know this is truly a tech pause in the end, but at the same time, getting a pause right after you get the first blood is rubbing it in a little bit and making him think, Hoodwink's like, really, you're gonna do this to me, but it's all fun and games.
Yeah, look at the timing on the pause top as well. They just cook it in the Mars. Like, he's just about to bonk and then try to spear someone under tower range. Then they have the Scatter Blast for slow. This is an awful time to be paused for everyone involved on top lane. Like, this doesn't feel good for Radiant. It doesn't feel good for Dire. I feel like Furin is gonna get skewered here. Or skewered, yeah, kind of skewered. Skewered by the spear, I suppose. back under the tower here.
Yeah, you push him back under the tower. Yeah, to allow the tower to assist. So we'll see as far as when we resume. You see that the pings coming out.
Yeah, I think this is one of those weird moments where pauses give a lot of analysis into a situation. So looking at this, he should be screwed under the tower. There's both Scatterblast and God's Rebuke to follow up. He can't run away. I think he has to go for the insta TP, but you know, once the spear is used, there are no more stumps. So if he just uses teleport to base immediately after the spear, I think he lives.
So it gives him time to really react right here is what you're saying. Well, we're going to find out here in a second. There we go. The Spirit backwards. He's not going to go for the instant TP. The cogs coming out though from Clockwork. I don't know if that necessarily hurt his teammate or not, but either way, he's probably dead without the instant TP as you mentioned, and down goes Nature's Prophet. So yeah, plenty of time to think about it. In the end, it's Mars and Snapfire coming through with the kill.
I'm surprised he tried to run there. It should be obvious to him that there's no way to run out of that situation with them having two abilities, and for sure this bear gonna connect. Anyway, he gets back to the lane immediately with his teleport, so another kill secured for Eternity here, getting a good start to the lane. We have previously seen, I mean, it was the Eternity versus Dogchamp, I think, where things were just really, really rough in the lane already. Here, getting a good lane start against Felt would be important for them going into later stages of the game. And so far, C is doing pretty okay as well.
Yeah, the hero kill aspect to that point is certainly good. 2-0, including that first blood. But yeah, I was glad you pointed that out too. The CS is a slight advantage right now for Felt, including that Nature's Prophet, who, yeah, he was able to teleport right back in, of course. That's what this hero does. And it's going to continue his CS and up there as far as being up top with his Leshrac teammate. But having some fun off into the jungle as meanwhile, bottom, the harassment continues. Curse coming out, but Shu.
Oh, Ezekiel is in trouble top though. The cogs, battery assaults, a lot of trees. Gets the spear out.
Hook hits. There's spear more so, and yeah, he is going to be able to walk it off. Has that bracer, has another tango, so he is fine, but definitely a close call right there.
Yeah, being left alone there on top though, as this +4 went for the rune control, like that little move. Sure, he lived, but he's stuck on low HP and doesn't have any way to heal up his HP right now. Gets a tango from his support, but he's still in such low HP range that he can't really threaten the Furin anymore, because he might go down himself when he goes close. Yeah,
that ward over here watching the top jungle, and perhaps spotting that rotation and giving the cue for Felt to play a bit more aggressive into the Mars, but of course Snapfire is back into the lane. Now, middle lane, you see a bit of a dive happening from the Ember Spirit. I don't think Leshrac's necessarily going to die right here, but oh man, I mean, Blessed Kid is really going in. Sleight of Fist used behind the tower, but here's a TP support, Clockwork. Of course, no hook shot. He's on level 3, but he's just going to run into him. Yeah, he has no clue. The Cog's going to be used, popping the stick to get enough mana for the Cogs, and now Ember Spirit is absolutely dead. You're right. He did not see the Clockwork TP in, and thus gets found.
He was playing with fire, diving like this. This is very risky. Top lane now as well, as Clockwork went mid. Oh, the spear does not connect to a tree. He's going to be able to run away just fine. No stun connected.
And that stings for Eternity. It's like they're like, okay, well, at least we'll get a kill on your carry, but now they still might get it. Ezekiel's going in. No spear in 1 second. He has it here. He's going to be able to go off with it, and they do secure the kill. Now Ezekiel is going to end up falling to the tower, so again, they get the Nature's Prophet, but having to die for it, not the most ideal situation. But look at this Leshrac, by the way, coming over. Okay, he's just going to buy the Arcane Boots and head back mid.
Yeah, he wants to go back mid because there's a catapult wave, and Ember's pushing on the tower, going to keep the catapult alive. So if he doesn't go here, it will be a lot of tower damage. So better that he goes here and clears this creep wave quickly, keep his tower healthy, and also the rune control for 6 minutes.
Well, Hoodwink's coming in. Yeah, you mentioned the 6 minute. There we go. It's going to be Haste Rune bottled up by Leshrac. So Blessed Kid is going to use his Remnant to get back on his side of the river, but Leshrac manages to pick up the Haste Rune, and that's certainly a rune we could see Leshrac use to perhaps rotate to one of these other two lanes. Is this one of those you would like to see him make use of this rune that way, or not a big deal?
I think you just wait for the opportune moment. Maybe you're gonna TP in and then use the haste and rotate, but as it's this low HP, I think you might just haste and run to base, honestly.
Okay.
See what he doesn't have any regen coming in on the courier either, just clarity. We'll see exactly what he wants to make happen with this. There are bounty runes.
Yeah, it's definitely an awkward situation because you're holding on to the haster because you want to have a more prime time to use it, but you can't use a regen from the bottle as a result. No, he's going to use it right here, and this might be a prime time, but no, Mars and Snap are already falling back after they're going at it with the clockwork, and Leshrac is still heading over.
Yeah,
they don't know this yet. Oh, Fade going down. Meanwhile, bottom lane, but yeah, there we go. He is going to run in all the way. Pops that Pulse Nova, Spirit immediately. Trap on Ezekiel, though, but Leshrac getting very low right there. Almost dying, but he does pick up the double kill, but the TP in from Ever Spirit, and he gets his own kill on a Leshrac with a quick Sleight of Fist.
Yeah, nice punishment for Ember, and he has a Remnant to go back to his lane as well. Just gonna pick up the Soul Spears on the tower here, so this really accelerates the Ember's game, who's having a great start. Watched some previous games of Blessed Kid. He hasn't had the easiest time in the lane, but he's doing absolutely fantastic this game, and gonna get a bottle refill as well from the Mars on top. Meanwhile, Tide respawning. This is the weird thing. You kill someone, and then they come back with full HP, full mana, right? So while Ursa got that kill, now the Tide is back and very confident because he has all the resources.
Yeah, it's about taking advantage of that too, exactly. Tidener feeling good. No, he's not level 6 yet, so no Ravage Strength. Again, another kill onto the Leshrac, by the way, as they're continuing to exchange. Chen playing the clockwork. He's gonna have to make his way back to the tower. Another slide happening, but he'll be fine. So yeah, while we're watching Tidehunter dive a little bit on the Ursa, they're going at it in the mid lane, and Ember Spirit helps secure the code of Leshrac, and he wants more. He's gonna go in further, popping the illusions even. Getting some more damage follow-up than that. The Cock Trap not really gonna do too much there to survive, and another kill for the Ember. He really has accelerated.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was highlighting. Like, his level is so high right now. He's level 8, almost level 9. The Leshrac is just barely level 7. So Ember, with these face boots and the Orb of Corrosion, able to play a hyper tempo game now. He wants to take over this game and give the space to his team. Meanwhile, though, Felt are not really slowing down either. They're gonna try and crack that bottom tower. Nice juke on mid, but the stun still held. Solji not gonna get baited out. But Ember, yeah, relentless.
It really is. We've seen this turn on him in the past, though. So, he just avoids the stun right there. Shu TPing in. Will hit his stun, though, and Ember Spirit, he manages to get out barely. Chen falls elsewhere. I thought that was a kill on the Ember for a sec, but no, that was actually Clockwork going down to the top lane.
That's so much space created, though, by the Ember Spirits, getting all that, and then gonna run back to base. He could TP to base as well, but gonna run back, have his TP available for side lanes, so you can really tell that he wants to take part of as many fights as possible here. Otherwise, he could have TP to base, refilled quicker, and have the Remnant to go out. But he's gonna run, and that tells me he wants to enable himself on the side lanes, look towards that Tidehunter perhaps, to be punished, as the bottom tier 1 is extremely low, only 100 HP.
Yeah, Tidehunter is definitely playing the very greedy route here. You mentioned with the tower very low, and he knows that Ursa can't necessarily just dive the Tidehunter. He's got the level 3 Anchor Smash. He has the Ravage right now. So Ursa just cleans up some CS and is going to head back into his jungle. We're hitting about 10 minutes in as new respawns will take place. Middle lane, speaking of 10 minutes, going for some rune control. Ember Spirit dealing with the Hoodwink right there. It is going to be a regen top that Ember will easily be able to secure, as Leshrac is off in his own jungle trying to farm some stacks meanwhile. Yeah,
meanwhile the work was finally completed by Fade bottom. He got that tier 1 tower, so it has fallen. Like you said, the Lesh needs to recover a bit in this game, and we don't see the same tempo that we usually see from Leshrac. He's done a great job shutting him down with the Sleight of Fist spam and the Orb of Corrosion. Does a lot of damage, and Leshrac hasn't gone for any increased armor build. Sometimes to deal with Embers, we see people just pick up casual Ring of Protections. Haven't seen anything like that here.
No, really just going a straight Bloodstone at this point. Nature's Prophet, we didn't necessarily talk about it, but pretty obvious. Hannah Midas was purchased by Nature's Prophet, now has a full Power Treads completed, so keeping an eye on his progression as he's trying to keep up with that Ember Spirit, who, again, just really accelerated. They want to kill on him, but he's not an easy one to kill. They're going to go for it, though. The Cogs, it's not going to push back, and instead traps him. The Global Silence is used in response, and Ember Spirit's like, all right, let's fight. Here comes Snapfire as well. The Mortimer's Kiss is Clockwork attempting to avoid the best he can, but it is just too difficult of a task. So they kill Clockwork in response, and potentially going to go for more.
Looking for the arena, gonna get it.
Leshrac trapped inside, the spear connects, and Ember Spirit shows up as well, puts the shackles out. Heals a little bit, keeping Leshrac alive, not live enough though. The slight hits And Blessed Kid will secure the kill. Now Hoodwink, Cookie stun forward, well played by the Snapfire rotating in. A double kill for this Ember Spirit, and it just continues to rain down fire from the Ember. Triple kill for him. He is very committed, though. They're even going to go for a Ravage for this. Okay, at least they kill the Ember Spirit. That is a lot of gold going the way of the Clockwork.
Yeah, that was really nicely played there. Great by Mars. Ezekiel running in and getting that arena, using his face boots and getting deep. Didn't have Blink on Mars yet, but still committed to chasing down that Leshrac, and the fight ends up being really good for them, regardless of losing Ember at the end there. Ember got so much momentum from, again, even more kills. Level 11 now. Aratus in danger. Mid gonna get hooked by DB Clock.
That's an easy kill. Sharpshooter has him in his sights, and they're going to put some pressure on the tower now. You have Tidehunter, he has got a Hood of Defiance. They know his Ravage is on cooldown, though, so you can't feel nearly as intimidating in terms of pushing this. And yeah, as soon as Ember shows up, Tide's going to start pulling back a little bit.
Tide is just a body. He's like standing in front of whatever tower is being threatened the most. He's trying to slow down the momentum here for Eternity as they are, you know, taking the lead of this game. And Tide is just there to be an obstacle, basically. He doesn't threaten to do anything in particular, but he wants to build up his tankiness items. Has the mana boots, has the hood. We're going to see him go into a pipe first, and then Greaves probably to follow immediately afterwards.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned how Mars is able to make that play, get the arena trap, and ultimately kill a Leshrac without a blink. He's got a blink being delivered now, so that's going to be a factor, as the Arena of Blood is also ready to be used. Doesn't have it yet, being flown out to him, though. So keep an eye on making use of that. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet farming up his own jungle. But where's Ursa at, by the way? Battle Fury almost online. Just needs the broadsword.
Oh, top connecting on the Mars. He was just about to get his Blink Dagger, like you mentioned, but the gank comes in first. This Hoodwink Clockwork combo. Two supports that can really put the damage on some people. And of course, the global rotation from the Fury coming in as well. Ember mid just pushing his limits, but of course can always jump out. You have that sense of security. There are not great disables on the side of Felt. They have some, but they're pretty telegraphed. Ravage is pretty slow. Leshrac stun is very slow, and other than that, it's really just like, I mean, Hoodwink is also extremely predictable. So it's really just a Clockwork hook that he has to worry about.
So that kill on Mars, yeah, that blink was taking a while. He purchased it, and I'm surprised he still didn't have it at that point in the career. Taking a while to get out to him. But either way, you know, he dies, but of course he has it now. And you can see he's sitting in the fountain. He's waiting for the mark on where to go, and it's going to be in the top lane. Snapfire in a pretty awkward spot, but you know Mars is coming in, and there are more rotations on the mini-map. Moonlight is like, all right, yeah, now my teammate shows up. Here we go. The combo on the Hoodwink, but it's not enough damage for the kill just yet. And the Ravage in response by Fade as he teleports in with Tidehunter. They're going to take out Snapfire, so that arena, it was just a little too deep near the tower to be successful.
Yeah, difficult for them there. The problem for Eternity is that they had their Snapfire under the enemy lines, right? She cannot use Mortimer's Kisses if she's too close to the opponents. So yeah, that fight was difficult for them, even though the arena was nice.
A good response coming out from Felt and hanging around this top lane. As definitely another engagement taking place. Again, no arena right now. The courier's going to be picked. That was a full pipe that was being delivered to the Tidehunter, so going to be without that. Oh, the hook shot away to survive, and they're going to turn on a Mars, and now Ursa, he has to pop in rage and run as he took a sharpshooter to the face. What a getaway from Clockwork.
Yeah, nice retreat there. He's going to go back to base and be ready to come out on the sidelines again. And Clockwork is closing in on this Blade Man. That's going to increase his chances a little bit here to get some bigger kills.
I've noticed, though, Nature's Prophet hasn't necessarily been showing up a whole lot to these, like, teleporting in, right, and providing that assisted damage. I'm sure Wrath of Nature has certainly been doing plenty, but another case right there where he was busy farming in the jungle while that fight was taking place. I mean, he has a Maelstrom now. He is top net worth, and he just bought even something else. So you like what Nature's Prophet is doing right now?
I think so. I mean, he's kind of just playing the stable style, but he is going to get dove on the tower, and here's that 1-2 combo, actually 1-2-3 combo with the global signs as well, making sure that no hook shot can immediately stop the Mortimer's Kisses.
Yeah, you mentioned that was everything. That is their big wombo combo coming together, certainly. Now it is to take out the position one, who I just got finished mentioning, is top farm in net worth. So a bit of Caster's Curse there for the Nature's Prophet, but well played by Eternity to understand where the game state's at, get a kill in the core, and they also take out the mid-tier one. Look at this Ember Spirit, by the way. Oh, he's hunting.
Yeah, he's
going to be enough damage.
Looking for a kill, but that comes from Fog of War. Nice to see.
Oh, no. Oh, the Remnant is panicking, you can tell. He's trying to get out of here, and he's going to barely make it out. Yeah, the Bloodstone was coming up too for Leshrac, so Ember Spirit really did not have a chance to secure that kill. He needed to survive.
Man, they were maybe just a little bit quick with the chain stunning there. With how low he was on Ember, you'd really hope that he would just be able to, you know, bring him down there, but he barely escapes. Beautiful use of the Remnant.
Mars dancing it off. Still just really with that blink, though. It's not been the most effectively farming Mars game. But again, at least he has that initiation tool. And speaking of blink, Ursa just purchased his. It's not on him yet. Wrath of Nature hits him on the dome, and he has to run away from the hoodwink right there. So a little unfortunate.
Yeah, we see rune control coming in. Bottom rune controlled by Felt. Blessed wants to try and get the bottom rune as well. Not gonna be able to get it.
Is it gonna be a turn? I mean, he's got Remnants, right? So he's gonna hold his ground, especially with the arena showing up from Mars. Leshrac, Bloodstone, it's on cooldown. He has a regen rune, by the way, though. We'll see if that comes into play. They're gonna make the kill happen on a Snapfire. The regen rune, he's still sitting on it, choosing not to use it. With so much damage happening, probably wasn't gonna save him anyways. Figured might as well save it for after death. So Leshrac down, and they're gonna make the way in the jungle. Retreat as a team.
I'm surprised they didn't opt to use it there. He had such a nice chance to use the regen after damage came in. The Sleight of Fist was used, but yeah, Ursa comes in and chases him down with that blink and Battle Fury. Ursa is pretty ready to join these fights, working on a BKB next. He's really have had no real pressure on him this game. Kara is already, you know, 2-0 and 1, but there hasn't been a single real move to kill this Ursa.
Yeah, he's definitely been a kind of a quiet hero for Eternity, but to that point, yeah, Felt hasn't necessarily been looking to address him. So, I mean, how much of an issue is Ursa going to prove to be, would you say, as well? While you're thinking about that, we got our odds on the screen, esportsbet.io. Check it out for yourself. A watch, tour, and platform. It is heavily favoring Felt. And again, as we figured, Eternity has been historical so far in these group stages, looking for their first individual win. But right now in this game, though, that, you know, 3,000 net worth lead, and going back to that Ursa, how impactful is it going to be?
I think they look pretty great right now. I did not expect them to come out looking this strong against Felt. I mean, Felt's one of the teams that a lot of people had high hopes for here in the start of the division, and they have played, you know, I would say much stronger than Eternity overall. Mid, an attempt at Ember here. Hoodwink again starting.
Global silence. Yeah, great ability to keep teammates alive. Sharpshooters are going to go out, but will not connect. And now Clockwork's found. He's going to be forced to use a hook shot into the immediate face of Mars, who then throws out his arena. It's a bigger trap, in a sense. Down goes Clockwork. Fate wants to kill, though, on Mars. He finishes the job as he blinks in to do so.
Yeah, we see the value of the Blade Mill there. It wasn't that easy for Mars to just simply combo on the Clockwork. He pops the Blade Mill, gives himself some time, and then finally the Mars commits his spells on him. But a nice takedown again, trading as support for a core, always something you're happy to do. And getting that kill over on Tidehunter in the end, gonna accelerate his campaign. He did go for the blink instead of Greaves, by the way. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool, you say. He went that after the pipe, but does that mean you actually like it over the Guardian Greaves?
I like it in this game because they struggle to lock down heroes, and this allows him to try and follow up on like Hoodwink initiations like we saw. It forced out the global silence. The problem for them right now is the tempo of the game. The tempo of the game favors Eternity, I would say, because they can play towards their global silence, their Mars combo, their Snapfire kisses. They're doing exactly what the panel we're talking about. They're getting these, you know, executions and then resetting and just farming a little bit, dealing with the side lanes, and then they're repeating. And Felt don't have as big of a threat that is, you know, gonna happen over and over. They are farming a little bit more on Lesh and farming on Furion, but now we might see them make a move with Clock.
Now they want to farm some heroes here from the dire side. Speaking of that move, they get that free quick kill on a silencer, and the blow up on Ursa. There's that Ravage, the first big one of the game we've seen in terms of some team fight presence. And now they're going to go right back to Russian. You know, I was just thinking to myself, Waga, with this Ursa and how good a farm he's had at Soul. That's very, again, playing with Fire and Ember Spirit, but Ursa's great, of course, doing Roshan, even by himself, let alone early on in the game. Haven't necessarily looked for it yet, but Felt's trying to go for the Roshan now. However, it's not going to be so free. Ember Spirit's making this difficult.
Yeah, Ember's they're bothering them. He has a BKB, by the way, so he's really not scared. Snapfire commits the ulti, but Hoodwink is a hard hero to connect on. Has that speed. Gonna get it in the end. The help
Nice
of the
slam
Ember
there from
brings him down.
distance. Yeah, I mean, how about that? Again, with the Ursa getting blown up, it's a 5 versus 3. You figure, all right, that's a free Roshan, but Eternity, specifically Ember Spirit's like, nah, that's not a free Roshan, and they defend it.
Yeah, I don't think you can get away with taking Roshan like that, especially with your team. Like, they don't look competent to take it without getting a lead first, I would say. By the way, nice catch by Fade with his Tidehunter Ravage earlier, like blinking in and catching the Ursa. But a little bit, you know, when you're playing Ursa, lifesteal these heroes with insta reactions, there are some spells that is okay to get caught by, like, you know, Blink Echo Slam, it's instant, right? But Ravage still has 300 milliseconds cast point. You should be able to react to it if you're prepared for something happening. So he had ulti ready, didn't have a chance to cast it there, but you just gotta be even faster, because if you're an Ursa player, you feel bad about that death.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, it's a serious saying. It's one of those, yeah, you got to have that finger on that R button then and Rage ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, he will have a BKB here shortly, too. So we're going to have a couple of ways to ideally go up against that Tidehunter initiation specifically. But he might be in trouble, though, once again. They're smoked up, heading towards that top lane. Clockwork
Silence
leading the
is
way.
ready.
The rocket. There's the hook shot. Yep, you mentioned Global Silence. Will it be used? Not yet. There we go. Finally comes out. And that's good, because Leshrac was there. But he has a Yules, as well as everything else. But with TP support, too, they're not going to commit further.
Now Ember, though, can go in confidently.
Now they want this kill on Leshrac, the stun, but that PKP is showing up from Eternity. That Bloodstone's not going to save the Leshrac. Nature's Prophet shows up, but he just gets absolutely shredded right there. Ursa is low and finally goes down. Gush to finish the job, and now Blessed Kid, he's a little vulnerable in the front lines, but he's also doing plenty of damage. With neither Leshrac or Nature's Prophet here, they're missing out on a lot of damage on the side of Felt. So it's understandable why Ember Spirit's so comfortable. And look at those Mortimer kisses from the distance. Ember going at it with Hoodwink, meanwhile. Sharpshooter in 1 second, by the way. He has to be careful about that. It's not going to be enough, though. Yes, it will be. It sets it up for the kill for Tidehunter, but at what cost for him? Double kill for Moonlight. Let's make it 3, says, and a complete wipeout when it's all said and done. Favoring Eternity.
At the end of the day, it's just the 2 supports standing there. They're the last ones.
Right.
The last ones living through all this. But that was a massive fight where Mars didn't have to join at all, or well, didn't join at all, and ultimately their team still came out ahead. So Mars got himself the full BKB as well. They have that triple BKB timing, and we could see the power of Ursa together with the Ember, both clicking BKB and running in. Then Bloodstone doesn't do anything for Leshrac, even though he used his Yules to dispel the Flame Guard. He cannot withstand all these right clicks, so he needs some armor item, but he also wants travels. I feel like Felt, they're falling behind a little bit more and more here.
Yeah, and not to put the pressure on Nature's Prophet specifically, but and I'll let you speak for yourself on it, but honestly, that was the point of the fight where it's just like, what is happening? Because, yeah, Leshrac getting caught out the BKBs, that's understandable, but porting in where he did, and then just getting shredded right after his left teammate fell, and not necessarily having the distance that you would like to see on a Nature's Prophet, it felt a bit awkward. His impact has been very low. I mean, 2, 5, and 9 on your position, 1 Nature's Prophet, again, not an ideal stat line, right? So, what can he be doing differently, would you say? Is there anything really that he can be?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think he overcommitted a little bit there, but he thought that he could go in and get the fight to turn around. The Ursa had no enrage anymore, and Nature's Prophet doesn't care that much about BKB. It's just Maelstrom procs that are missing, right? So he thought he could maybe swing harder there. I think he needs to keep just farming and building up right now. He's building towards a silver edge, which will help them. Turning off the Fury Swipe, so the Mars protection is pretty useful. And then maybe he can win those man fights a little bit better.
Tidehunter almost has the Heaven's Outbreak. In fact, there you go. It's going to be delivered, so it's another nice tool that Felt will have to take advantage of, disarming specifically that Ursa. Pretty good against, as he's killing off one of these illusions. Roshan, again, it's still the level 1 Roshan. 26 and a half, 27 minutes into this game right now, as Mars was spotted in the area, but neither team has really had the chance, other than that very slight chance that was quickly thwarted off.
Leshrac is going deep here. Look at him. Look at his positioning. He's wanting to do something. Okay, he wants to just wrap the tower first.
Well, top lane Ursa's trying to run.
Oh yeah.
He sprouted up. This is a free kill. Global silence, but he's all by himself. They're running in. Is it going to be fast enough? Titan another blink in 6 seconds. Oh, what a hook shot from Clockwork. And that will secure the kill. So using everything to survive. It's not enough, though.
Yeah, they attempt with their saves. Tidehunter right next to 2 long TPs there. Could maybe have ravaged, but bottom, they are going to get some punishment here. Leshrac goes down quickly.
That he does. And now it's Nature's Prophet that's once again in this position of kind of just some man mode. No, with the BKB, a different story. Ember Spirit has to respect that, and the Tidehunter shows up with a Ravage. Ember thinking he can kite him on the outskirts. No, says Tidehunter. The Ravage will finish the job, and now Silencer gonna be found in the trees, trying to hide. Says, please don't find me. That they find him. Double kill for Fade. And that's a really successful fight for Felt right there. And then all started again with that pick on Ursa at the top lane by himself. And it transitions into what we see at the bottom.
Yeah, it's so slow to TP on an outpost and take the fight. The way that Eternity were trying to join that fight was difficult for them. You're channeling for such a long time, and then finally you arrive. But it's easier, I think, for Felt, who honestly just ran over there. And while that takes even longer, you have more time to understand where everyone's going to be in the positioning. Overall, they're wrapped around them. Again, we saw a Tidehunter blink in and get that Ravage used. You know, you're playing against 2 reaction heroes like Ember and Ursa here, who have a reaction buttons, but he's blinking really close to them and just popping that Ravage, getting the kill. So yeah, the fight worked out beautifully. And even though we saw that Mars can tank the Furion, that's only when he doesn't break you. He now has the full Silver Edge and has 3,000 gold on Nature's Prophet. Going for a Nullifier next, which is a great item here. So good against the Ursa. You can turn off the Overpower so he doesn't have any attack speed, and you can also turn off the Flame Guard.
Yeah, I'll say this about Nature's Prophet. You know, it's one thing, obviously, deserved criticism, sure, but especially after the last fight, and you do look at the overall net worth. I mean, he is massive lead right now, to hitting just over 20,000, and he's also level 20 himself, which means, of course, he has that Sprout Leash's talent that we see all the time on these Nature's Prophets in that core role, and certainly, yet again, another very effective tool here against heroes like Ember Spear, right? So
it's Ember's worst nightmare. Tide gonna gush and slap the Snapfire as she tries to go high ground here.
And no high ground. This is our high ground, he says. But yeah, to that point, Ember Spirit especially is going to be very susceptible to having to deal with that ability. But how about this? So finally, coming up to 30 minutes, we're going to see a Roshan maybe killed? I mean, they know what's happening. They scouted this. Ursa's getting low. Are they going? Is he waiting for the time?
Oh, the time
comes in, but no, Ursa picks it up. Thought for a second he might have snatched it, but he doesn't. However, the global sign is now used, and Clockwork just accepting death at that point. He tried for it, unable to connect. Shoes also attempted to run, hiding through the trees, but the chase is going to prove to be too powerful. He too will fall. So valiant effort. In the end, it's Roshan plus a couple hero kills.
Yeah, that was almost perfect timing for Clockwork. That looked like he had it, but he was just a slight millisecond too late or something to really get the stun before Ursa picked up the Aegis. Ursa picked it very fast, so good job by him. Bottom, trying to get away, but Arena committed.
Now, he's got Ravage. He is going to use it. Nature's Prophet's teleported out, though. He's left his teammate. He's like, dude, I love you, buddy, but you're on your own. So that's where I was going to say. If he Ravages, can they maybe set up a turret? So that's where it's a little bit awkward, right? Where, why would he Ravage at that point if you're not going for a turret? Because that's surely a death in the end. So
it's the great bait of any Tidehunter player. You never want to Ravage if you don't know that your teammates are going to help you. Mid, the move now with an Aegis in hand. Kara on this Ursa going much more confident, running and taking creeps behind the tier 2 tower. And positioning is a little bit tougher here for Felt, but having the Nullifier freshly completed on the Nature's Prophet, they can fight Ursa. They just need to be together to do so. Ravage being on cooldown might make them a little bit more cautious here. but I still feel like they can fight into the Aegis possibly.
Both Ursa and Ember Spirit all sitting level 20 themselves on the other side, so they pick up their damage talents. However, Ember Spirit damage not going to save him right here. He's just locked down forever. And Clockwork, I got to say, there was that stat thrown up earlier. He was 8 for 9 at the time, even better now. As far as his hook shot accuracy, he is landing some big hook shots. These cog traps are working. And with Ember Spirit down for another minute, of course they're going to chase on the side of Fel. Global Silence, very panic mode. Nullifier using Ursa. He jumps in with the BKB, but look at how low he is. Remember, he has the Aegis. It's going to be used right here. As Nature's Prophet able to stand from a distance. Another Sprout coming up in 1 second. Ursa's in trouble. Out comes here. Another Cogs. Not going to trap him, though. But Ursa's trying to run. Currently disarmed thanks to the Heaven's Halberd. Meanwhile, Yulzon up himself for Leshrac. Bloodstone on cooldown for 10 more seconds. Ursa going back in the cookie, but he's just dead. Not the spot he wanted to be in. Snapfire's dead as well. Mars suddenly left alone. Double kill for Nature's Prophet. Potentially another one to add to the list. The Nullifier connects the whole team, running him down. Yet again, another great hook shot. And Ezekiel will fall.
A long fight there with Radiant trying to regroup and taking the high ground, you know, holding their position, even though they lost one hero quickly in the fight as the Ember was brought down in the initial burst. They then tried to reposition with the Aegis in hand, hold the high ground and take the fight there. But looking at the fight, you could really just see how the Nullifier changed the entire premise of the fight. Ursa did only 1800 damage this fight, and those are not numbers that you're expecting from your carry. Meanwhile, on the side of Furion, he did 5000 damage, just slapping down everything that came in range, and Nullifier has no real cooldown. It's, you know, 10 seconds cooldown, 5-second duration, and that means that you can continuously dispel this overpower. And when he didn't, there was also the Halberd from the Tidehunter, so really no chance for Ursa to turn it around.
Yeah, Ursa's unable to play his hero freely, that's for sure. And not only freely, but just in general. Feels like he just has to simply run. And another fight, though, of these recent fights that on the side of Eternity, where they're down a core basically as the fight is just getting started. Previously, it was the Ursa that got caught at the top lane. Then we saw that bottom fight, and now right there, again, Ember Spirit got picked off right off the bat. Ezekiel jumping in. Heals immediately on Leshrac, so this arena not necessarily doing a whole lot. Ember Spirit coming in with his own PKB as well. Global Silence activated. Leshrac having a run, as is the rest of the team. But look at Tidehunter. Tidehunter's hiding. Oh, his Blink got disabled, but it still connects to kill Ursa with the Ravage. And now Moonlight, realizing it's a lost cause, he'll get caught up as well. Ember Spirit way over here, just trying to distract, but it's just Prophet. There's a Sprout, and the Silence on top of that. He's just dead. Oh no, Ownage indeed.
Yeah, it's all falling apart right now for Eternity, and you know, I would love to bring up something else there. Perhaps the early initiation by the arena with teammates not really nearby could be highlighted. But again, the Ursa getting caught, BKB ready, Enrage ready, and the Ravage from the tree line connects on him.
Yeah, again, I don't know if that was intended. I think he wanted to blink in the Ravage, but either way, he still hits it, and that's what matters. As they take out Mars. Once again, he has buyback, and so does several other heroes, but without their cores, they might as well just stay dead for the time being. So, dominating control now by Felt. And there you go, in fact, they're just going to call it.
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that are playing with a stand-in from just having a change in players here, right? Like, we don't see Skyward playing today. So losing the game after having that dominant control, I think they